This is an M-rated game, so viewer discretion is advised. Chained Echoes. This is a turn-based RPG, which, like another RPG named Sea of Stars, feels like it's taking inspiration from Chrono Trigger and the Secret of Mana series. First off, I want to say this was sent to me by the publisher, so thank you for that. They actually wanted me to review the DLC for this, and I told them I haven't even played the main game yet, so they sent me a code for this, so I wanted to disclose that like I always do. Now, I don't plan on reviewing the DLC, as I tend to focus on main releases only. Now, this is a very story-heavy game, so much so during my 25 hours playing this, I think maybe half of it was story beats and not battling. The whole time I was playing it, there really wasn't a lull, and it didn't have a lot of padding, which was great and unexpected. There were even side missions which would flesh out the character's backstory, or it could just be a fun aside. Now, this game is about Glenn. While in battle, he strikes a rock, and he unknowingly destroys a great deal of land and kills a lot of people. Only him and another person who was next to him survives the explosion, because it's safe for anyone who's within a few meters of this rock. The whole story is about getting possession of that rock again, and stopping an evil king who wants to use the rock over and over again to wipe out his enemies. I am oversimplifying it a lot. There are other main characters like the sister of the king who wants to stop him, a thief who joins for the money but of course has other motivations, as well as quite a few more. I believe there are 10 characters that you're following throughout your adventure, but Glenn is the leader of them all because they say so. It has the same logic of who the leader is as in those Suikoden games that I reviewed. Shaky at best. Funny enough, there's actually a part where you recruit people in order to join your island of rebels. So they seem to take inspiration from that game as well. The story overall was interesting, but it had too many twists. There were a couple that were fun, but the last one was so stupid, I flipped at the bird. No spoilers, but if you finish the game, you understand what I'm talking about. Battling was fun enough, but I do think it was overcomplicated at times. There were two ways to do it, normally or in mech suits. Each way has its own attacks, defensive moves, and healing. Let's start with the best one, which was attacking normally. You and another character are stacked together. You can switch to them on your turn without a penalty. However, you have to use them if you switch to them. So you're going to want to set up the best character to be stacked together on the setup screen. For example, maybe you want to put a healer behind one of your magic users, so you can swap to them on your turn so you can heal up the rest of your fighters. There are a lot of boss battles in this, which would give you stones which would unlock different kinds of skills. The whole leveling up system was very overcomplicated and confusing, but after a few hours you will get it down. Basically, you get a certain number of SP points in each fight, and you would think you would use them to upgrade your stats, and you do, but you're not going to get to do that for hours and hours. The goals to upgrade your level skills were very large, and when they only give you 2 or 3 points for each fight, it gets a little frustrating in the early game. Here's the deal, since I don't think they ever clearly explain it. As you fight, those large numbers will actually go down by the SP points that you earn. But you can also use those SP points on the same abilities, so you're kind of double dipping. It maxes out at 3 levels of improvement on each one. There was also an ultra attack, which was different for each character. It could be a powerful attack, or it could be a powerful heal for all your characters, depending on the person who uses it. Speaking of healing, this game does something I wish more games did, which was a full heal and magic refill every time the fight was over. It makes you want to use your magic attacks because you're not going to have to hoard your magic points, which was great. The gimmick of all the battles are that the whole time you're going to need to watch your overdrive meter. If you were in the green, you'll do more powerful attacks, and if you're in the red, the enemies do more powerful hits. It will go up as the battle drags on, but you can lower it with some of the moves you have, but most of the time it's just best to power through it, as I found it more frustrating than interesting. Now let's get to what wasn't great, and that's the other battling in mechs. When you're in mechs, you're going to do way more damage, but it was always less fun than the normal battles. I didn't like the movesets they had. You can change things up, but there were only 4 characters that could use the mechs, so there's no hot swapping in this. Also, they overcomplicate things with the overdrive by making you change gears, and the drive system would change directions that it goes in. Most of the time I would just stick to gear 1 until the overdrive would get too high, then I would go to gear 2 to make the overdrive not max out. It was complicated to be complicated, and that's just annoying. Luckily, mech battles were less common than you might think. It was around 30% of the battles that you would do, so it wasn't a huge deal. I loved the world that they made. In the first 10 hours you're going to be walking around the world, and they have a really good map system to help you out as well. There's also quick travel between crystals, which was great. After about 10 hours, you get an airship, where traversal will become even easier. You can at one point freely get into your mechs and just fly over the area that you're walking around, which was cool because they hid stuff that you could only find when you're flying around. Plus, enemies couldn't hurt you because you're flying too high. So if you just want to explore, you can. They also have a reward board, which will give you gold and items for completing tasks. The goal is to link up chains in the board to unlock even greater rewards. So if you like 100%ing the game, there is a lot to do. There appears to only be one ending to this game, which I appreciate. appreciated. I hate games that have the best endings locked behind getting every person or saying the right thing at the right time. If your game was 8 to 10 hours long, it wouldn't be so bad. But if your game clocks in at over 25 hours, it can get annoying. Chained Echoes was good. I loved a heavy story-focused RPG, and less emphasis on fighting. Normally games that make it more balanced, but this title would rather you explore and fill out the backstories of your characters than throwing monster after monster at you. Now don't get me wrong, there's plenty of fighting in this, but it never felt oppressive. Now this is normally $24.99, and I say wait for it to go on sale. I do think it's a fun game, and while I did find the battle system fun, the overdrive system was annoying, and the mech battles tend to drag on a little bit. If you enjoy role-playing games that focus more on story, you will love this, but I would wait for it to go on sale.